Beneath Africa's scorching sun, where predators prowl and shadows stretch long, a different kind of flight begins. These are not the kings of the hunt, nor the singers of the skies. They are the silent custodians, the unseen force that keeps death from overwhelming life. This is their story. Welcome to Wildtracks. The silent cleaners of Africa. Beneath the vast sapphire skies of Africa, where the sun blazes down with unrelenting force and the horizon ripples with heat, a quiet yet powerful scene begins to unfold. This is a land shaped by wind and time, where life never stands still. Here, stillness is just a pause between the eternal rhythm of birth, struggle, and death. And in this cycle, there are creatures that neither hunt nor roar, that do not steal the spotlight, yet without them, the balance would crumble. High above the parched earth, dark-winged shapes drift silently. Their wings stretch wide like ancient sails catching invisible winds. Riding thermal currents with effortless grace, they hardly flap. There is no need. These are the masters of the sky, vultures, the silent sentinels of the wild. On the sun-baked ground below, among golden grasses and the shade of acacia trees, lies the still body of a zebra. Once, a creature of motion and stripes, thundering across the plains in herds, its life has come to a quiet end. But even in death, it plays its part. Nothing here is wasted. From the heavens, the first responders begin to arrive. Ripple's vultures, broad-winged, keen-eyed, spiral down in widening circles. Their vision can spot a carcass from over a mile away. Each swoop is deliberate, each descent exact. But they are not alone for long. Soon, white-headed vultures appear, poised and watchful. And then, the giants of the group, lappet-faced vultures with powerful hooked beaks and commanding presence. Together they form an assembly not of chaos, but of precision. A quiet congress of purpose and instinct, gathered not by accident, but by design. There is no confusion here, only order, ancient, practiced, and perfect. Each species plays a unique role. The lappet-faced vultures, strongest of the bunch, use their massive femby beaks to tear through the toughest hide. Once they break the surface, the Ripple's vultures, agile and persistent, dive in to reach the inner tissues. White-headed vultures, more cautious, feed on scraps others leave behind, ensuring every part is consumed. These are not mere scavengers, they are specialists, the surgeons of the savanna. Their digestive systems are biochemical marvels, able to neutralize rotting flesh, anthrax, cholera, even rabies. Where disease would flourish, vultures purify. They cleanse the land, halting the spread of sickness before it begins. Their long legs keep them elevated from the decay. Their light frames and broad wings allow them to soar for hundreds of miles with minimal effort. And when the feast begins, the savanna stirs, feathers rustle, beaks crack, wings shift. The silence gives way to motion. Heads lower and rise a yin in rhythm, an ancient, practiced ritual. No leader commands it, no voice narrates it, yet it unfolds in perfect synchronization. This is not chaos, this is wisdom written into their bones. Not far away, under the shade of a thorny acacia, the next generation watches. Juvenile vultures stand still, eyes wide, bodies tense. They don't join the feast yet. They are students. Observing, learning, smelling blood, recognizing the pecking order, decoding the movements of the adults. This is their first classroom, one built not of walls and books, but of instinct, wind, and survival. For vultures, life is not about dominance. It is about duty, about balance, about service. They may lack the flash and glory of predators, but their role is no less noble. Without them, carcasses would fester in the heat, spreading bacteria, infecting water, attracting disease. Without them, the food chain would falter. The rhythm of life would break. And yet, too often, vultures are misunderstood, feared, even hunted. But they do not need our understanding, only our space, only our respect, so they may continue the work they've been doing since the dawn of life. They are the keepers of balance, the silent undertakers of the wild, the breath between endings and new beginnings. And when they rise into the fiery glow of the afternoon sun, their wings shimmering against the sky, they leave behind more than clean bones. They leave behind a reminder, a soft-spoken truth. In nature, every creature has a role, even those we forget to praise. Sunset on the Serengeti. As the African sun dips toward the horizon, the sky burns with shades of orange, amber, and crimson. Golden light spills across the sweeping plains of the Serengeti, painting the land in warm hues and long shadows. The day is coming to an end, but for the creatures of the wild, the rhythm of life never pauses. High above, the vultures circle one final time, completing their sacred, unspoken duty. What was once a lifeless body now lies stripped and silent, a sun-bleached skeleton resting on the earth like a forgotten relic. It is untouched by decay, purified by the work of nature's most diligent custodians. Riding the updrafts, the vultures lift effortlessly into the glowing sky. Their dark wings stretch wide, silhouetted against the light as they soar upward, weightless and eternal. This is their realm, the open air, the endless hunt, the quiet cycle of death and renewal. But in the tall grasses below, other eyes are watching. In a nearby clearing, another carcass lies still, a wildebeest, untouched, for now. But in the Serengeti, nothing goes unnoticed for long. The vultures return, drawn by instinct, experience, and the ever-present scent of death. With silent precision, they descend once more. Rappel's vultures land first, their sharp eyes scanning the surroundings. They move quickly, efficiently, their hooked beaks tugging at muscle and sinew with expert skill. Overhead, others wheel in slow circles, keeping vigil for danger. Because danger here is never far away, and this time it is already near. From the edge of the grassland, almost invisible in the sea of green and gold, a lioness emerges. She moves like liquid sunlight, graceful, fluid, lethal. Her coat glows in the fading light, her muscles tense with purpose. Every step is silent, deliberate. Her amber eyes are locked on the scene before her. She is a sculpted predator, forged by survival and time. The wind shifts. She lifts her head slightly, nostrils flaring. She smells the meat. But more than that, she smells opportunity. Hunger sharpens her senses, and she lowers her body, closing the distance between herself and the unsuspecting scavengers. When she is just meters away, a single harsh cry pierces the air. A warning call from a vigilant vulture. Instantly, wings thunder into motion. Dust rises, feathers scatter, and the flock explodes into flight. But not all make it. One vulture hesitates, just a heartbeat too slow. With a burst of raw power, the lioness launches forward. Her muscles coil and release in a blink, claws extended. She strikes with precision. In a flurry of talons and feathers, the vulture is caught. Its flight ended before it began. The others scream and scatter, retreating to the skies above. They circle warily, just beyond reach, watching the drama unfold below. The lioness stands over her prize, breath steady, eyes alert. She has claimed the straggler, and now she turns to the wildebeest. With practiced ease, she pushes aside what the vultures have stripped away, finding the last untouched morsels. Her jaws work silently. This is survival, nothing more. Above, the vultures wait. They are patient. They are eternal. They know the lioness will not linger. When she is gone, they will return. Because in the wild, the work of the vultures is never truly finished. Life and learning among the vultures. The life of a vulture is not an easy one. Though their role is vital to the balance of the wild, the path to becoming a master of the sky begins with fragility, patience, and quiet perseverance. As the dry season eases into cooler months, a subtle shift moves through the African skies. For vulture pairs, this is a time of purpose. Together, they begin an age-old ritual, seeking high ground for the next generation. They choose places out of reach of danger, jagged cliffs that rise like ancient monuments, towering trees that scrape the sky, and rocky outcrops where predators dare not climb. Here, they begin to build. Using dry sticks, tufts of grass, and soft feathers plucked from their own chests, they craft a nest, rugged but warm. A cradle for new life, perched on the edge of the world. Soon the female lays her precious cargo, 1 to 3 eggs, pale and dappled with faint, mysterious markings. They are delicate, fragile enough to crack with a single careless touch. But these are no careless parents. Both mother and father share the sacred duty of incubation, using their broad, feathered bodies to shield the eggs from the harsh sun, the biting wind, and the ever-watchful eyes of the hungry. For nearly 50 days they wait. And then, with soft cracks and tiny movements, the eggs begin to stir. Fluffy white chicks emerge, blinking into the world. Their downy feathers offer little protection, their bodies small and vulnerable. At this stage, they cannot stand, cannot feed, cannot survive without the constant care of their parents. And so the parents work tirelessly. They take turns leaving the nest, flying vast distances to find food, returning with crops full of nourishment. With careful precision, they tear the meat into manageable pieces, gently placing it into the gaping beaks of their young. Time passes. The chicks grow. From the nest, they watch. They study the movements of their parents, the tilt of a head, the power of a hooked beak, the confident spread of wings catching the wind. They begin to mimic. First, they practice standing on unsteady legs. Then, clumsy wing flaps, more hopeful than functional. But each motion builds strength, balance, confidence. Every day they grow bolder. And then comes the moment all vultures must face, the first flight. It is not graceful. It is not grand. It begins with doubt, with hesitation, with wobbly leaps from the edge of the nest to nearby branches, short hops, awkward glides. But instinct takes over, and with each attempt, they begin to understand the invisible laws of the air. Soon, those fledgling flights become soaring journeys. What begins as a timid flutter becomes a majestic glide across the vast Serengeti sky. Their wings stretch wide, their eyes sharpen, and their bodies learn the rhythm of thermals and wind. They begin to travel, dozens, then hundreds of kilometers each day, searching, circling, scanning. They are no longer helpless, no longer learning. They have arrived. It takes years for vultures to reach full maturity, and even longer to earn their place as elders of the sky. But once they do, they are irreplaceable, cleansing the land, halting disease, and restoring balance wherever they go. They are not just scavengers, they are guardians of the ecosystem, born of wind, raised by patience, and perfected through flight. Kings of the sky, the eagles, above the Serengeti, above the jungles, mountains, and rivers of the world, above even the clouds themselves, another ruler reigns. The eagle, majestic, fearless, unyielding. Eagles are not just birds, they are legends etched into sky and stone, whispered through myths, and emblazoned on the flags of empires. With wings that span meters, talons as deadly as daggers, and eyes that can spot a heartbeat from a mile away, they are the undisputed monarchs of the heavens. Across continents, their dominion stretches far and wide. In the dense emerald canopy of the South American rainforest, the harpy eagle, one of the largest and most powerful raptors on Earth, moves like a ghost among the leaves. With talons longer than a grizzly bear's claws, up to 13 centimeters. It doesn't soar in open skies, but threads silently through tangled branches, its black and white plumage vanishing into shadow. It waits, watches, listens. Then, in a blur of feathers and fury, it launches. Monkeys, sloths, prey with few predators never hear it coming. In seconds, the hunt is over. There is no second chance. Thousands of miles away, over the rugged cliffs and open highlands of Europe and Asia, the golden eagle rides the wind like a storm-given wings. With unmatched grace, it circles silently, surveying the land far below. Its eyes, 8 times sharper than a human's, lock onto movement. Just a flicker of fur on rock. And then, like a lightning bolt falling from heaven, it dives. Tucking its wings, it plummets toward Earth at speeds exceeding 240 kilometers per hour. Not even large prey are safe. Foxes, marmots, even young mountain goats, pulled from ledges, or knocked from cliffs by the sheer force of the eagle's strike. Here, gravity itself becomes a weapon. But the story of the eagle isn't only written in remote wilderness. Along the rivers, lakes, and coastlines of North America, another monarch rules, the bald eagle. With stark white feathers crowning its head like a regal headdress, it surveys the water below. Still, patient, watching. A ripple, a flash of silver, and the silence shatters. The eagle plunges. In one swift movement, it pierces the surface, talons slicing through water like blades. A fish is seized, dripping and writhing, lifted into the sky with ease. But the sky is not without competition. Red-tailed hawks, ospreys, and other raptors rise to challenge the catch. Mid-air duels erupt in bursts of shrieks and feathers, an ancient contest written across the clouds. Victory is never guaranteed. And yet, the eagle endures. Its strength, precision, and sheer presence have captivated human imagination for millennia. From the thunderbirds of indigenous legend, to the golden standards of ancient Rome, to the emblems of modern nations, the eagle has become more than a bird. It is a symbol of vision, dominance, and freedom. A creature that does not follow the wind, but commands it. The arrow of the sky, the peregrine falcon. In the vast, breathless silence above the earth, a fleeting shadow streaks across the sky, faster than thought, faster than thunder. It is the peregrine falcon, the arrow of the sky and the fastest creature on the planet. Sleek, streamlined, supreme. Its body is a marvel of natural engineering. Long, pointed wings cut through the air like blades. A compact, muscular frame channels power and precision. Every feather, every bone is shaped for speed. In level flight, it is swift. But in a dive, it becomes unstoppable. Tucking its wings close, the falcon plunges toward Earth in a controlled freefall, reaching a staggering 390 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a Formula One car, faster than a bullet train. At this speed, even sound struggles to keep up. But speed alone is nothing without vision, and the peregrine's eyes are among the most advanced in the animal kingdom. 8 times sharper than a human's, they allow it to spot a target, like a pigeon, from over 3 kilometers away. And when the time is right, the falcon becomes a force of nature. High above a sunlit meadow, a pigeon flutters, unaware of the danger overhead. The falcon hovers in silence, watching, calculating. Its gaze locked like a missile guidance system. Then, motion. The wings fold. The body drops. A streak of feathered fury slices through the air. There is no warning, no second chance, just impact. With a single bone-breaking strike, the falcon knocks its prey from the sky. Precision, perfection. The hunt ends in an instant, swift, clean, and absolute. But even at the top of its game, the peregrine is not untouchable. In the contested skies, it shares airspace with larger, more powerful raptors, eagles, hawks, kites, all vying for the same prey, the same territory, the same survival. In these moments, raw speed isn't enough. The falcon must become a tactician, dodging, weaving, conserving energy, waiting for its moment. It doesn't always dominate, but it always endures. Because in nature, greatness is not defined by size or brute strength alone. It is forged through skill, adaptation, and an unshakable will to survive. And in the art of the hunt, no creature writes a cleaner line through the sky than the peregrine falcon, the living arrow, forever in flight. And so, beneath endless skies and above wild, whispering plains, the wings of vultures, eagles, and falcons still carve stories into the wind. They ask for nothing, yet they give balance, beauty, and breath to the world. Let us not forget them. These silent custodians, these kings of air, these arrows of the sky. For in every shadow they cast, nature remembers how to endure and how to fly. If this journey moved you, inspired you, or made you see the sky a little differently, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more untold stories of the wild. The earth still has so much to share.